Siri, feel free to call me Coach Toyin. I'm the founder and CEO of Nazaru. I'm a business educator. I also host international trade summits. I teach entrepreneurship, business development, international trade development as well. So I want to welcome you this early morning. I've been testing this out. This is working really well for my own calendar, right? So I can start early and then be done and then get over to other things I need to do for work. So good morning. I see those joining. Eric Khan, Abdel Majid, thank you. I wish there was a way I could check on you and say, where are you joining from? Because I know it's early morning somewhere, it's at late afternoon, it's probably late morning too somewhere, and even evening if you're in China. So thank you so much for joining. I've been hosting these public sessions. For those who may not be aware, I actually have an online business school. It's a comprehensive school, right? And that's where implementation happens. Okay, I'm going to break it down. Many times people think all they need is content. Content will nourish your mind, will make you feel like you know, but in order to see business results, you have to do. Okay, in order to get results in your business, you have to create. You create success. Success doesn't just happen in your mind. Success happens based on what you do. And in order to do work, you need precision, you need strategies, you need skills, you need structures to get business results. So, this is what's happening in the world today. Many people are consuming content, just like today, you're going to listen to me. I'm going to teach. I teach differently, right? But one thing I'm calling out is that you need implementation. Implementation is what happens in my school. And in order to activate implementation, what I do is I give assignments, workbooks, and tasks, right? So in my school, if you're my student, I want you to implement. I don't just want you to listen to me and feel like, oh, I feel smart. That feeling smart doesn't create wealth, guys. The smartest people in the world are not the one that create wealth. There's so many people, smart, intelligent, highly capable people roaming the world. In the world today, they can't create wealth because wealth is built. Is you don't it's not what you can think of. It's not the potential of your mind. It's what you can pull off. Okay, so you're going to roll up your sleeves and you're going to work. You work for it. What you don't do, you don't see the results. So I'm calling this out because I don't just want to be one other content creator that you're consuming today. People have been consuming content for a year, 2 years, like, and nothing has changed. I'm telling you why. If you don't put it to work, if you don't create something, if you don't sell something, if you don't do what I'm sharing, and right, then you're not going to see anything. You'll be smart, right? You would know, but you won't be able to do because skill develops over time through repetition and practice. So, what I support my students with in my school, TonyMessery.academy, and there are other programs as well, I support them with implementation, right? Where we do the work. So, I'm just calling this out because trust me, if it is content that creates wealth, everybody will be balling right now. Everybody. Because there's GPT, there's YouTube University, everywhere you turn. Everybody's telling you download this, download that, download this newsletter, this blog, this video, this podcast, this. Abundance. But that doesn't create wealth. What creates wealth is the secret I just told you. You will learn specific skills, okay, that will help you do specific tasks. And the traditional education system has already taught you, right? If you're an accountant, you went to school and you were trained how to perform the duties of an accountant. If you're an engineer, the same thing. This is the power of education. They didn't just tell you to read books, they actually took you into the lab. They taught you how to do the T diagram if you're an accountant. Listen, I did managerial accounting, financial accounting, my business degree, right? It's not just reading the book, they actually asked you, they gave you assignments to test your knowledge. And that's what I do in my online academy. So thank you for being here. I'm going to get right into it. Mr. Jason's coming up on Clubhouse. So we have Clubhouse, we have LinkedIn, we have other platforms running as well. Hi, Jason. Bright and early. Good morning. Oh, so you've been up since 5 a.m. Okay, good for you. I also wake up quite early. So let's get right to it. So I already shared. I want to be very, very focused. Content is not what you need, it's implementation, right? If you want to see results, if you want to build a business, if you want to achieve wealth, right? If you want to build wealth, you start with knowledge, but you develop skills, you develop systems, you need strategies. I'm very, very firm with that in my school because you're going to experience right now, right? Part of me teaching and socializing because we're on social media, but I also want to make sure that what we do in my school, you understand that that's where implementation, assignments, focus, this is where we're doing the work and this is where we're building our businesses. People are online on social media consuming content, yet they can't pull things off. They're not still not much different. Okay, so today is about learning how to price your product and services. Okay, many times I'm going to, so bear me, right? I've been working on this for years. So I'm going to give you my experience and what I see out there. My book, Mindset of an Entrepreneur, also covers a lot of this mindset shifts that people have to go through. Have you heard? This is what is very common in the entrepreneurship startup space. People say, "Oh, I want people to pay me my value. I want my value. I want to price at my value." I'll tell you straight up, ignorance is speaking. If- okay, you say foolishness. That's pure. Nobody can actually, Jason, nobody can pay your value. Humanly speaking, nobody can pay you what your value. You're priceless as a human. So when people say, "Oh, I want people to pay me my value," it's actually ignorance. You don't really understand the concept of market pricing. So I'm going to give you, it's a matrix. There are several conditions, several things that has to be true for you to price. Okay? So one of it is economics terms of demand and supply. Okay? Demand and supply. A lot of the things I teach are so um piercing, piercing, right? Because it challenges people to think differently. Number one, the laws of demand and supply would influence what you can price and how you can price. Okay, this is economics. Demand for your products, okay, will increase your ability to control. You have leverage. Things that are highly in demand, okay, meaning consumption is high. People are willing, able to pay for those products and services, right? As a supplier of demand, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a supplier. You're a create, right? You're the one, quote and unquote, manufacturing value. You're the one creating value. You're the one selling value. You're the one distributing value. You're bringing value into the marketplace. One of the conditions that influences your ability to price has to do with economics terms of demand and supply. There are several things that influences it. Because if you attempt to sell something that is not in demand, okay, if you attempt to sell things that people don't need, people are not ready to pay for, you will struggle, right? Because you almost have to generate demand artificially. So, right, for example, if there's already demand for bananas in the retail world, for apparel, for shoes, for bags, for toothpaste, right? Commodities, consumables. Humans already invest, like that stuff is a staple. This is why a lot of people go into supplying, right, commodity items. You don't have to be looking for, people are already looking for banana, apples. Like this is where the retail world thrives. These things are consumed heavily, heavily, heavily. We buy shoes, we buy clothes, we buy cars, we buy luxury, we buy food, groceries. So you don't have to look too far. People want to eat, people want to look good, right? People want to consume these things. And the question is, are you the best supplier of these things? Right? So that competition in the world law, under the law of demand and supply, is, are you the best supplier of the demand that we have? So if you're under, if what you're selling is in high demand, and is also well available, you will also find that, seriously speaking, you're in competition. There's also high competition. Usually when there's high demand, many suppliers, many producers, many businesses go into high demand because that's where the money is. Okay, so there's also high competition. And so when there's high demand, high competition, market conditions, pricing is influenced. Because if the price of your competition, right, is more competitive than your own price, you're likely to lose people, particularly in commodity items. Okay, let me stop there. Jason, any reaction?
Well, yes. The more you teach, it reminds me of the things that I studying economics, and it's really why I don't have any customers, and that's okay because I teach people how to think freely in a biblical way. Like basically, nobody wants to really like it's. My thing is a gifted program, right? So it's like I literally can't don't have I've done all of the proper work and there's nobody that wants that. If it was food, everybody wants that. If there was shelter, right? But the thing is, I sold my house and invested in how to think. And
Mm.
I understand because the thing is, if I'm running for office next decade, how many people are like that? If I had somebody else like that, then they'd be like, yeah, let's work
Yeah.
together, right? But there's nobody like that. There's like a point zero. What percentage of population actually runs for the highest office in
But
the country, right?
but
So it's very small.
yeah, but so let's take it little by little, right? So the first thing is getting clear your market conditions, because previously I've talked about markets, right? Market insights, consumer insights, the segments, demographic, all of these things play out in your ability to sell in an industry. Many times people are rushing in, making a ton of assumptions that my product and services will sell because it's the best thing since sliced bread. No, it doesn't work that way. That's why when people say, oh, I want my value, I want my value, I'll still come down to where your value comes in. Okay? Where your own unique value proposition, what's distinct to you, your own markup, your own variations, your own strategic brand positioning. I'll still talk about how that comes in. But the starting point is demand and supply. Is there an existing demand? So even for example, Facebook knows this. There's already a demand for social platforms. So all it did was copy Twitter and created threads. And in hours, in days, demand shifted. But think about it. Metaverse. It was trying to build metaverse. There was no demand for. Nobody was asking for metaverse. That was a
Well, that
futuristic,
was him.
innovative.
That's him.
That's
Because he
him.
is that rich. That's him. That's who he level he is. But nobody else is at that level. I bought the thing for $500, but it's because I sold my house. If I didn't sell my house, I would have been able to afford that.
Right, right. But okay, so just let me keep staying on track, because trust me, you and I could totally take this conversation everywhere, because I teach in my school. There's so many resources here. And welcome everyone joining. Today we're talking about how to price your products and services in a more strategic way. Okay. So as I was sharing, right, the laws of demand and supply. If there's existing demand, okay, if there is existing demand, you become the you want to be the best option. In my book, I talk about riding the wave. You want to position yourself in the marketplace as the best alternative option because there's competition. Where there's high demand, there's competition. Where there is low demand, you are a trailblazer. Okay? When there's no demand, you're the one, opening up an industry. You are the first. And this is why you invest a lot in marketing. You have to educate the market. Another story I give to help people really understand how this plays out. Okay, guys, if you're a dentist, you don't have to spend money teaching people that they need to brush their teeth, because that is a mature industry. But if you read into the history of dentistry, you realize that before toothpaste, was innovated and distributed, they had to convince people to use toothpaste at the very, very beginning, because people were used to their coal, charcoal, their rudimentary ways. So the beginning of any new industry, those who start that industry at the beginning, they have to invest heavily in educating the market about their product and services. And once the industry matures, you don't have to educate people anymore, because you've collectively, as a profession, you've collectively educated people, and this is what activates demand. Okay, demand is activated when there is education. I'm sharing this because many of you are trying to sell things where there is no demand, or the community you're trying to sell it to has never invested in the things you're selling. And this is where many people struggle. You're bringing products and solutions to a community that has zero demand for what you're selling. So you have to actually spend time to educate them, like I'm doing right now. Those who need my services the most have never created wealth, and they don't know they need wealth education. I don't have to educate wealth creators already. Those who have made money, I don't have to convince them to learn what I'm teaching right now. They pay heavily for them to get to where they are. That's why they are rich. That's why they have money. Why they have their yachts. They did not fly there. They didn't dream of it and then it happened. No, they invested heavily. But then in my community, they haven't made such investment, and they don't even have the concept that wealth education is something you invest in, and you invest in yourself. You see why? That's why I have to spend time nurturing, educating, guiding, enlightening, coaching. Why? Because the demand for knowledge, wealth education knowledge in certain community is zero, guys. Nobody has told us that to make wealth, you have to give everything you have towards that journey. I'm sharing this in a transparent way so that people understand. If you are called to a community that there is zero demand for the transformation you are bringing them, get ready to educate them. Get ready to give them insights, to nurture them, to teach them, to guide them, because this is how new industries are giving birth to. Somebody has got to start it. Somebody courageous has got to start it. And once you start it and you open up and the demand goes up, guess what? You bet. This is how you bet a new industry. All of a sudden, new players come in. But until an industry is mature, where demand is high, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle big time. David, welcome to the space. Any thoughts on what I just shared? Good morning.
Yes, I was actually on LinkedIn as Oluwaseun, but I just let me just switch here because I had to do something here.
Oh, nice, nice. So the cool thing about audio, and for those on LinkedIn audio as well, please raise your hand, join the conversation. Is I love engagements like this. That way, I'm not just if it's to teach, the resources, everything you need, the workbooks, they're in my school, toyinumesiri.academy, and you can find out more programs at toyinumesiri.com/programs. When I come on social, I want to be social. I want it to be social. And I cannot be social if I'm just talking to myself. So one of the reasons I come here is to check in with people. Do you get what I'm saying? What's your experience? Share, right? So audio allows us to do that. And Chisholm, I see you. Come up to the stage if you're able to. You're already in my program, so I would love to hear your perspective as well. Go ahead, David. Any other thoughts before I go on?
Okay. Yeah, like you rightly said, that the people that actually need this are really not ready to invest. Will I say ready to invest, or they don't even know they should invest in that because the people that have it already know the value, they've seen the value, they keep on going with it, and that is just the sad truth of it.
Yes, and they are not about to turn back and come and convince you to be like them. This is what's happening, guys. Those who are creating wealth, they're not about to invest their time doing what I'm doing. You won't find them. Because to them, it's not worth it. It's like, duh, you want to make money, you don't want to teach yourself how to make money. That's your problem. It's not their problem. That's why the gap keeps getting wider, because those who are running their race, taking risks, investing in themselves, going for classes, courses, going for events, flying all over the world to go and shake hands, to go and close deals, to go and make money. You think they have a minute or two to spare to come and collect those who are going nowhere? No. No, 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 no. That time, they will use it to power themselves. The best thing they will do is to throw crumbs from their table. This is where I said I've been teaching on why free never works. The best thing, they're not going to give you the meat they are eating. The best thing is free. And one of the things I say about free, there's really nothing that is free. Free is a result of other people's hard work and labor. Free is that somebody else has made the sacrifices that created that value, and their generosity is what is leading them to be right. Philanthropy is what free is built on. Somebody else did the work, somebody else made the sacrifices, somebody else created the value. So everything free in the world that people are saying, oh, free this, free this, free this. No, it's other people's hard labor. Other people's hard labor is what people are enjoying. And one of the caution is, if all you're looking for is free, you won't be able to be like the donors. Right? The donors will not give you for free what it took them to get to where they have enough to spare. Bill Gates will not give you what it took him to get big Bill Gates. He will donate money, crumb. He will give you free food, free education, free this, free that, but he's not giving you the knowledge because he didn't get it free. He didn't get it free. Those who suffer, listen, okay, if you want the truth, you hang out with me. If you don't want the truth, you run away. Okay? If you want the truth, you hang out with me. I'll break it down. I'll tell you how this world really is. If you don't want the truth, you say this is too much. You say Toyi is too much. Why is she talking like this? The reason we are collectively where we are is that nobody is telling us the truth, and we are not telling ourselves the truth. We are not looking into the mirror. We are not calling ourselves out. Okay, that's why we are in the conditions. Collectively, I'm saying I'm generalizing now. I'm telling you how the world works. There's one of my classes, this is advanced. I talk about foreign aid versus foreign trade. Aid will take no nation anywhere. In fact, on record, the World Bank chief economist on Africa at my event has told me, said World Bank has never developed a nation. What will develop a nation is what I'm teaching. The people, the productivity, the creativity, innovative capacity, activating that of the people, the common people. Okay, let me come back to entrepreneurship, pricing your product, pricing your services. I just gave you an example. If there are certain things you are selling that the people you're selling it to do not have demand for it, it is your responsibility to stop selling it, or if you care enough about what you're selling, then you have to create demand. And one of the ways of creating demand is to educate and nurture that community. You have to take them on a journey. You have to really, really get them into a new mindset. Okay? You have to really take time out. You have to do it because you care. That's why I gave the example of the dental. Imagine if the dental community never told us we needed toothpaste and we needed to brush our teeth. Collectively, the whole world, our teeth will still be thinking like 1950. This is the advancement of technology. Those who break barriers, they educate the world about what it can do for them. Because the world is clueless. Listen, the world is usually on status quo. We love what we are doing, right? This is the birthplace of innovative ideas. Is that when people innovate? Another example is the birthplace of internet. Do you know more than 20 years ago, you had to convince people to get an email address? Do you know that? That when internet came, people were like, inter what? What is that? Email? At symbol? What is that? People didn't know. Look at today. Now everybody has an email address. Not even just one. You have 5 or 10. I don't know how many you have. But at the beginning, at the very beginning, website, people will be like, web, what? So at the birth of a new industry, of a new era, of a new transformation, I'm telling you now, if you're doing something new in your community and you're the visionary, right, and you're the trailblazer, be ready to educate. But if you're selling where there's already high demand, make money. In my book, I say ride the wave, be the alternative source, right? Distinguish yourself, right? Tell people you are the best thing since sliced bread because you want a market share. The pie is big enough. You want a slice, a piece of the pie. When there is no pie, you create the pie. Okay, I see someone wants to come in. Let me see who that person is. No. Yeah. Miss Chisholm, welcome to the stage. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Coach Joy. And yeah, you really hit some point. And I was just looking through and thinking and reflecting. You mentioned as far as philanthropy free, and David said something on the chat that philanthropy is born out of profit. One has to first make that profit before you can actually give anything away. Going back to that, as far as creating the pie, and if there's a pie in place already, being the alternative source and positioning oneself as a market leader, or at least differentiating your product from everything out there, since with demand, the consumers already know what the product will do. So the question for each manufacturer producer of the same product is simply differentiating the products, and then this taps into what pricing that you give to it. And going back to what we've learned, or at least what I've learned and implemented, is how you brand how you brand yourself, your product, and then this is what creates the value, and not actually looking at what everyone else is doing. It's good to do that, but at least for you, for me, my brand is to really figure out what is that my product would do differently, and positioning it as such, and that would determine the price. I hope I'm correct.
I love listening to you, what you just said. You know why? I was sharing at the beginning that online people can consume content, but in my school is where we implement with the workbooks, right? And just listening to you, can you share with people the difference between business, what's going on social media and the workbooks that you are now using? What has that done?
So the workbook, really, it's workbook for a reason. It's work.
It's work.
It's work. It's work. And to be clear, which is what the workbook does, it creates clarity concerning what you intend to do. So you have your product, you've been doing this a certain way. Going through the exercises really forces, at least it has forced me to really sit down and really think about what I'm doing, that I really want to put out there. And I kind of feel that I have so much more to do.
Oh.
4 weeks in, and I kind of feel like there's some things I've done in error that needs to be
corrected.
Yes.
Because you've run businesses before. So you've attempted this in the way before. Because this is what I'm trying to share with people, is that you have to test new ways. If something is not working, if something is broken, right? You need to explore new ways, and in a way, you can't stay at the surface. You have to dig for gold. Like, you have to actually mine your own mind, because there are a lot of answers buried behind or beneath lack of clarity, right? And so the workbooks, the assignments, I challenge my students, is where implementation goes in. Because again, you can consume content and say, oh, I know branding, I know this, I know price, I know this. But once I start asking you, like the 30 strategic question for market research for the entrepreneur's workbook, listen, you will sweat a little bit. I've heard people tell me, like, oh yeah, you mean I have to go find the answers to this thing? I say, yes, don't worry. This you we want to sell. You will sell better. In fact, you, you, meaning the founder, ultimately, when you embody this knowledge, everywhere you go, you're selling. But when you don't embody the knowledge, you are confused, you are confusing people. Confused people do not buy. If you cannot clearly say, this is who I am, this is what I'm selling, this is my brand, this is this, I'm this. If you cannot have a string of conversations and, right, activate sales conversations and lead people into buying from you, no sales happen. You might be saying, oh, go to my website. But when people are talking to you, you are the ultimate sales machine. I'm using, engineering terms. So the training we give to ourselves everywhere you go. I know Miss Kopalaga, like one of my sisters, I don't know if she will join us later today. Once she goes through this, guess what she's doing? She's now a speaker. They invite her to speak. Because when you get on stage and you deliver a speech, you will sell on stage. Because you embody all the knowledge. When you embody all the knowledge, that's where sales happen. That's when sales happen. But when you don't have clarity and people, your potential clients are with you and they ask you questions, you don't know what to say, you don't know how to say it, sales doesn't happen. So why we go through this school, this training, right? It's really training. It's not just, oh, this is a content, listen to me. No, it's training. And when you do that work, right, for the 12 workbooks, market research, consumer insights, right? Who are your customers, right? When you get that, how do you launch your product? Market entry, how do you launch your product? Okay. How do you implement your lead generation, right? What are your magnetic messaging, your content strategy? When you embody all these things, there's no stopping you. So it's a life training, right? I don't know if you want to say something about that before I continue. Chisholm.
Yes, indeed. Because at the end of the day, what going through the process, which is almost just 1/3, I've come to realize that it's not so much what you put out there, but the internal work that needs to be done for you, the entrepreneur, because you ultimately are the product.
Mm.
You, your values, and what you stand for, what you represent. And the product is simply a channel which you show the world that this is what I can do. But ultimately, it's just about me and everything else. The work itself is the work, but it's more of an internal work. That's what, for me, the entrepreneurship journey has been, just clearing out cobwebs and clearing out things internally before presenting my product out there to the world.
Okay, this is why it's so beautiful to talk to hear other people's perspective, because what you just said, I love how you said it. Usually I try to explain it as, when you become the person that can do the work, you will create the results. Because everything you want, everything we want is achievable, but it's only achievable by a version of you that have the skills, manpower to do the work. All the dreams, everything, you can dream of anything. You want to be with $1 billion, everything, because you can see in the world that other people are doing it. All things are possible to them that believe, right? So if you believe that you want and you desire certain things, it's possible. But only the version of you that can that has the skills and the capacity and the manpower to do what is required to create those results, that result belongs to that version of you. Let me give a biblical example. David is anointed to be king, but first of all, he has to be able to kill Goliath. Right? And it takes skills to bring Goliath down. Everything opposing you in business, right? All the challenges, lack of clarity, lack of information, lack of skill, all those things, the day you surpass it in understanding, in knowledge and skill, you will tear it down. When you have skill to kill Goliath will not be an issue anymore. But if you don't have skills, you'll be like the army that like shivering. Oh, this, oh, that, oh, right? The complaint is the government, is the this. People who are making money, they are not complaining about anybody. People who know how to monetize, people who have sales skills, you will not hear them say anything about Biden, the president, or the government, or this, because under their dispensation, their life is, they're building the life of their dreams. They've empowered themselves, they've given themselves the skills. That what do they want? Everybody wants money. When you can't get money, you blame the government. But the day you can feed your family, you can buy the house, you can live the life of your dreams, you will just be reading the newspaper and drinking tea. You won't become, you'll be like, oh, what a shame, what is this, oh, this. You just, at that point, because their life is no longer tormenting yours, their life is not touching you, you are protected financially. But when you are not protected, you don't have the skill, you can't do, guess what, you are exposed. And you now say, oh, it is they, them. That's when people start chasing shadows. But those who have sales skills every single day, they're showing up, they're posting, they're sharing, they're knocking on doors, they're making money, they're pushing, they're building wealth every day, because there's no time to complain. They don't even have time to sit down and complain about anything. Why? They are creating results with their time. Right? So they are maximizing the 5 minutes that they will use to complain is too much. In that 5 minutes, they can make money. They would rather pick up a call and do a cold call. This is when their time is so valuable to them, and they are using it so in a very focused way. 5 minutes, that's when you say time is money. To those who are not doing this work, time is not money. You know why? Time is not money. They are wasting time on social media. No, time is not money to everybody. Time is money to people who know how to use time to make money. Time is money when you know how to use time to make money. People who don't know how to use time to make money, they are wasting time. So their time is not money, their time is wasted. Because 3 hours on social media, if you didn't make money or you didn't do something for your business in 3 hours and you're scrolling, you wasted that 3 hours, guys. But the same 3 hours in the hand of a wealth creator, let's say they will close some deals, they will make some calls, they will sell some things, and then they will go and rest. So let's get these things straight. People will say, oh, your network is your net worth. Well, wait a minute. Not to everybody. Not to everybody. No, no, no. We are using these general terms. No, 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 no. Only when you have bankable relationships. Relationships that can write checks. Relationships that can invest. Relationship that can partner. Relationship that can sponsor. That is when those relationships translate into money. But listen, your network, right? If the people on your cell phone, you cannot do business with them, you cannot make money with them, switch them out. This is one of the things I teach, networking, in my school. I'm giving you permission. If you're a money maker, you need money makers in your network. You don't need people tearing you down, telling you excuses. They will keep you, right? If your network cannot reach out to you for business opportunities, cannot say, hey, hi, somebody called me, I had this, let's go do this, they can't create opportunities for you. They're not challenging you, right? They're not offering you motivation. They're not going where you're going. It doesn't translate. This is part of the challenge. If you're an entrepreneur, in fact, one of my articles, I say, if you're going from employee mindset and you want to be an entrepreneur, one of the first things you need to switch out are the people you are doing life with. Get out of the community of other employees. Get into communities of entrepreneurs. The energy is different, the focus is different, right? The journey is different. And if you're alone, if you're an entrepreneur in the midst of employee mindset, soon enough they will corrupt it again. You go back to where you are. That's bonus. That's just free. Let me keep going, staying focused on today's topic. Any thoughts on stage? Yes, go on, J. Susan.
Yeah, quickly, before you switch gears, how do you, that employee entrepreneur mindset. So just be clear, because I know I'll speak for myself, transitioning from employee to employer. I've been an employer, but working with an employee mindset, and that got me nowhere. So I'm now and switching back to entrepreneur. So for me, I kind of feel that even when you're in the space that you work for someone and someone else is signing the check, I still take that as my own personal business. I have my standards. I have the way I do things, and I see myself working for myself, even though someone else is signing a paycheck. So that's the way I was what process working for others. I'm working for you, yes, but I'm working for myself, and I'm learning the skills. Um, when I give products or when I give advice, I'm acting as a sales consultant. At that, even though I'm not the one closing the sale, but at least giving the consumer, this is what I think you need based on your company, not know X, Y, Z, but based on what I know, I feel this is what will be best for you. Take it or leave it. It's totally up. That's my advice.
Okay, and I get that. One thing I just want to I try to create clarity and awareness. Okay, wealth creation mindset is a spectrum. Let's just say 0 to 100, 0%, 100%. When you start educating yourself, it's like sliding from 0 to 30. So you're a little bit in, but the journey is trying to get you to 100%, because when you get to 100%, you depend on no one. So halfway on that journey, you now know your own power, but you are still able to depend on other people. You are working inside a structure. Nothing wrong with that. The reason I'm saying is that this is a growth journey, right? So you may be 50% in, other people are still at zero. They're still like, oh, my employer, oh, my this, right? That's okay. But I'm just trying to say, I'm being gentle. Don't force, right? You're where you are. Create awareness, clarity. Where am I? Where am I going? I'm trying to also give clarity that when this is all said and done, if you want to go all in on this spectrum, it's a mental construct. It's a mindset. And that full-blown mindset, when you think about Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, these guys call the shots. The answer to no one. Their mind and their intuition, they might wake up in the morning with an idea and then they charge their team up. They are visionaries, they are leaders, they are the ones breaking through. They are not, they are working with systems, but they are not under. They are the ones creating the system, creating platforms. They are the leaders. So leadership, yes, in a company structure, there are leadership teams. You might be the vice president, senior vice president, director. There are levels, but the CEO level is a spectrum. So you can be growing in leadership, growing in capacity, growing in entrepreneurship learning, growing in business learning, growing. And truly, you may be 50% in, 30% in, 60% in. It's still growth, better than those at zero. But my point is, over time, this time next year, right? By this time next year, when certain things change inside of you, certain things will change externally. You will not be able to stand. I'm telling you, you will not be able to stand certain things anymore. in a way, this is what happens at the final mile. Part of there's a combination, an entrepreneur is a combination of many things. One of it is a fighter, right? An entrepreneur has there's like, as human beings, there's certain instincts, natural instincts, maybe to nurture, to care, to fight, to protect, to do all those things. Most of those instincts are numbed. They are not put to use when you are in a certain stage. You know the story of the lion in the zoo. The same lion that is dancing for you, that is singing for you, that you are piping and is making tricks in the, in the concert, and the trickster star, the circus master, can make the lion dance, is because the lion is tamed, right? You can still comply. Somebody can still tell you to do this and you will do. You are still an agent of control in your mind. The day the lion goes into the wild and retrains and activates their fighting, fierce energy, instincts, you think you can tame that lion? Chisholm, you think somebody can call that lion and say, hoo, 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 sit down? No.
Oh,
But while the lion is still in training, the residual of that old life will still be, it's like this story of the elephant, that when the elephant was a child, they tied the elephant to a tree with a rope. The elephant grew up. The rope that it can easily cut away is still that this is where trauma and childhood and conditioning and culture, there's still residual of those things. The belief of that lion, sorry, of the elephant when they were a baby, that they attempted to break free as a child, but the rope was stronger than them. Now they've grown up. They are now stronger than the rope, but their mind doesn't know that. The day they know, they will set themselves free. So that's how this thing works, is that you've done some work, you've made progress, you're setting yourself free. That's fine. But that journey is not over, because when they release wild animals for the first 1 2 years, they have to work that thing. Oh, the old system, you have to work it out of your system. The old conditioning. Realize we spent a good 20, minimum 20 years being trained to be employees. 20 years. If you have 1 degree, 20 years sitting in classrooms, 20 years being told what to do, 20 years being told to be quiet. You do that in class, you come home again, they tell you, you be quiet, you are too young, you are too this, you are too that. Voices, right? 20 good years of being the person you become. So, how many years will it take you back to go to the original plan God had for you? I don't know. The journey is different from everybody, but it's a spectrum. That's why we start this journey as quickly as possible, to rid yourself of all these chains, virtual chains, mindset games, all these things. Read yourself. There are many of it. Many of it. It's not one. But as you're cutting them off, they're losing their power. They're cutting them off, they're losing their power, right? And so be gentle, but I'm just creating clarity that it's a journey. It's a journey. Don't get off the journey. When you stop is when you stop. But remember, it took us 20 years, some people 30 years to get to the condition. But once you start that program, how many years then, right? How long does it take to get out of it? So it's a spectrum. Make sense, Chisholm?
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Coterie. And I just didn't want to take away from today's
No,
topic.
it's good.
Thank
No, I'm here to serve. No, these things are all connected, because pricing is also a spectrum. When the confidence is little, you will price your confidence. As your confidence grows, you will ask for more money. So I'm happy to have answered that question, because somebody is telling you their shoe is $800 with red soles. Somebody is telling you their bag is 2K, 5K, 50K. Somebody, human beings like you and I. Another person is saying it's $5, $50. What is the difference? It's belief, confidence, audacity. Audacity. Right? And so if you haven't practiced the audacity, I don't know if you're taking the class. I say the audacity to ask for your price. The audacity. This morning I was thinking, many people say, oh, I don't have money. Tony, I want to enroll in your school, but I don't. I'm like, no, it's not that you can't afford it, it's that you have not prioritized it. If I tell you now you're invited to visit America, a plane ticket, to go and get a plane ticket, you will run, you find that money. You find it. You will find it like that. But what we've not prioritized, we don't invest in. So people will give me excuses. Oh, I really want your class. Oh, I'm already doing. But look at their hand, the phone they are using to join right now, the iPhone phones. Where did you find that? It's priority, guys. So I'm done. Like, I'm done. Listen, be done. I'm sharing this. Be done with the people giving you excuses that this. No, 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 no. Everywhere in the world, anybody that has a phone in their hand, anywhere in the world today, they've prioritized that phone. They've prioritized all the things they are doing. The things they don't prioritize, they make excuses for it. Right? They make excuses for it. So watch out for that too in your community. When you say, oh, take this class, take this, and they say, oh, anytime you hear people say, oh, it's because there's something else that is number one priority, where they've committed their funds, and whatever it is you're asking them to invest in is in their mind, doesn't take precedence over those things. So guess what? They have to conclude and flip priority. That's actually what has to happen. You don't need to change your price. They have to prioritize. They have to change. They have to bring this as a priority item, right? Because something else, their funds is tied up with something else that they've prioritized. It can be a shoe, it can be a car, it can be a house, it can be school, it can be anything. But understand, when people say I can't, no, 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 no. Don't buy that stuff anymore. The key is, can you prioritize it? If you can prioritize it, you can save for it. Do you know many people let me not even go there. Let me stay let me stay on topic, guys. Let me stay on topic because this gets quite dynamic. Okay. So learning how to price your products, I talked about market conditions, demand and supply. Where there's already demand, you have more flexibility. Where there's no demand, right, you create demand by education, by nurturing, by conversations. So that's one. What also influences how we can price is also the demographic. Okay. Because so for example, luxury cars. There are certain cars only made for certain demographic of people. Hmm? And because they are making it for a certain type of people, they can price it at a certain way. Okay? So this is where the matrix comes in. Is that the same exact product made for a certain type of people, because of the mindset of the people, because of the value of the people, what the people value, because of, it could be income, it could be a lot of variations. How you can price that product, you are forced to work within the limits of the demographic. If you move into affluent community, listen, you can play more with your price, because those who are affluent already, they want exclusivity. They want to be the only one that owns certain things, and they are willing to go out of their way to be able to tell that story. So they would pay premium for the exclusivity, for the exclusive stuff. Right? Common people, I will use these words, I use these words carefully though, is that everybody else, general, let me say general, in the general public, the general public does not care for exclusivity, because guess what? They are already general. So if you bring exclusivity to the general public, the general public would look at you and say, no, we are not trying to be exclusive. We are just common. We are just give me commodity, things I can use and be done with. Right? Utility is what general public is looking for. Utility versus exclusivity. The pricing is different. Let me stop there and get some reaction. Everybody's thinking. I can feel that. Anybody? Exclusivity versus generality or usability. David, go on.
All right. Okay. I think you're pretty much right with what you've been saying so far, and I wanted to actually bounce back on the part where it has to do with the mindset. The reason I actually joined for this particular session is because we are in what they call the creators economy. Now, creators economy talks about today creativity has come to the limelight, and with social media, it has helped extend the reach of creators. I believe every human has creativity in him or herself. So it's not new thing. It's just that today information is able to walk, like to travel at the speed of light. So that's what is happening now in our sphere. Like where I told you, I'm a designer, so I believe that it's a very big question for us. Like, if you remember the last time we were talking, I was saying that um, making a flyer in Nigeria maybe is priced as 3,000, 5,000, maybe 8,000 max. But making a flyer in the US could go as far as $200, $300, $400. And that's the same thing you are repeating when you're talking about exclusivity versus generality, because it's there are two different environments with two different kind of people. And you said something the other time. You talked about how much how much value is actually placed on your skill in that environment. So if you have a skill in Africa, like let's say I'll take a random skill, painting. Painting is valued in Africa, but is not as much as valued as in the US or in the European culture, because people believe painting is art. You understand, we cannot just fathom that thing, but because it's in their own culture, they feel this is a work of art. It can be priced less than you get millions of dollars being sold at millions of dollars, and that's actually what is actually driving the art sector. But for a painter that is in Africa, that's just making is struggling. Like you barely have to sell your paintings on the road, and nobody is looking at it because they don't value painting back here in Nigeria. So for any creator, pricing is really, 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 really difficult, because you wake up in the morning and you're like, who is going to buy a paint? My painting for 5 million naira. So you really have to work on your mindset. And for any creator out there, it's
Oh, we lost you there, David. The system. Okay, I'm sure you will come back. So, wow, I've been looking at the chat space. Are you back, David? Go on.
Yes, I'm back. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to work on my mindset and tell myself, see, there are customers out there that are willing to pay whatever price I put on my products. I'm an ardent follower of Chris Joe, who is a designer. And this guy comes up and he tells us he makes logos of 2 million, 3 million. I'm like, a logo? Yeah.
So let me start diving into some
$5 million.
Okay.
And it's like, wow. Please go ahead, Ma.
Okay, no, the system, the internet, I think it's glitching as well. So let me come in. And I'm seeing a lot of comments. Miss Kobala guy said you have to care. I think people often miss this bit. Georgette says the people who break barriers are the ones who give us the blueprints. Georgette, love it. Create the pie. That sounds like advice part. Okay. And on Clubhouse, I'm seeing like 21 going back up. Like, listen, thank you so much. Let's keep the conversation going as well. There's something David said. I'm going to give you a life strategy. This is a life strategy forever. I don't want you to ever, ever, ever forget what I'm about to say, or what I am about to share. You know, in my country, I'm a Nigerian American, so I still have those two. We used to say, you know, when a mom is about to give you something, say put it in your left hand and never forget this. That's something I'm about to share now. Everything, price, everything you're selling, okay, is actually based on the value you put on yourself and the value other people put on you. While I said at the beginning, nobody can pay you what you're valued as a human, you're priceless. But there's a value of your creation. There's a certain pride. How you value your own creativity. The process you have to go through to give birth to products and ideas and solutions. That process that processed you, how you perceive that, how you carry yourself is how the world will carry you. What you think about yourself. You know why? This is where boundaries come in. Boundaries. You first have to speak to you have to know who you are, guys. for you to price well, for you to position yourself, for you to do your branding. Listen, there's an inner work. People who do not value themselves and one another, they will cheapen the creation. What that hand produces, they will take it down to zero. This is why I always talk about be careful pursuing free things. It corrupts the mind. Those who are always looking for free, they are operating under poverty mindset. It's a construct of the mind. So if you are consuming free, tell me who will now pay you when you want to sell. You don't know how to pay people value. You want somebody to pay you value. No, people will pay you what you think you value. Listen, the people who value themselves, they go at an extent to only eat good things. If you offer certain people free things, this is why Bible, David said, I will not offer God something that has not cost me anything. You know, Bible will talk about sacrifices. You pay no sacrifices, you get like everything is the mind. So if you think crumbs of idea is what you are worth, and you're going eating crumbs, you are picking from the streets. No, people who value themselves will not pick. They will go for the table, the premium. So when they eat premium, they become premium and they will produce premium. My people will say what the bird eats is how it determines how it's going to fly. What you consume will determine the altitude you're going to in life. And if all you are doing is free everywhere, you're not investing, you're not paying a price. When you too want to price your product, that mental construct, you will impose it on your own work. Naturally. You don't know this is happening. You haven't paid, you will not get people to pay for it. Because your mind is the factory of your life. The mind is the factory producing all these outcomes we're talking about. So if you have trained your mind to always think about zero, when you now produce, guess what you are going to price yourself? Zero. You now start saying, who's going to pay this? Because you didn't pay it. You didn't pay. So your mind too is looking for exactly for what you ate. If you eat good food, you will cook good food. If you ate crumbs, you will give other people crumbs. The mind will produce its kind. The mind will produce it. This is what people are doing to themselves. They don't understand. In 2-3 years' time, that's when people will realize they've been sold poverty mindset, and soon enough, they'll be struggling. Because it's just a matter of time. Because that's what has happened to nations around the world. Oh, don't worry. We will give you free money. And you two now sit back and you're waiting for free money, not knowing that crumbs is what they're giving you. The people that are giving you free, they are working hard every single day and they are making 100 times. Only hard work creates this wealth we are talking about. So if people are only interested in doing barest minimum, when the day it is time for you to price your own product, you will not be able to have the audacity to name thousands of dollars because you didn't put thousands of dollars into that factory. You won't. When we're doing profitability analysis, pricing this, if you invest $5 million to produce in your factory, guess what you are looking at? You are looking for $5 million plus profit. If you use 50K to produce your work, guess what you are now looking for in the world? You are looking for your 50K back plus harvest. When a farmer puts 5 seeds is he looking for 5 seeds? No. Because if he's looking for only 5 seeds, it's not worth it. The process is not worth it. The process God wants us to go through is not worth it if all we are getting is what we put in. So if you keep putting in 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, the day harvest comes, you will get 0. That mind that you put 0 in will produce back exactly what you put in. This is the law of demand, of sowing and reaping. But if you travel to the world, you travel to the ends of the earth, you go for this class, that class, you go to Harvard, The day somebody come and price you, will call, you will create boundary. You'll be like, no, 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 no. You see how I got here? I invested in myself. So this thing I produce, you better, I'm looking for my money back. That is where boundaries come. But people who haven't gone to the ends of the earth to train themselves, right? They cannot do this. They cannot price. They cannot. It's just a mental. It's a mental nurturing. Don't do this to your own mind. See, Miss Chisholm now, she's enrolled. Trust me, the day she wants to price, she's not pricing it zero because it didn't cost her zero. It didn't cost her zero. And the people who gave you things that you don't pay for is generosity. They brought the value of that thing to zero. But trust me, the most valuable part of their work is not zero. It's not zero. So this is the damage subconsciously we are doing to ourselves. When we don't value the work of other people, when we don't invest heavily in the work of other people, we are not training ourselves to see value, to create value at the highest levels possible. So you now see collectively some communities, they devalue their own work, devalue the work of other people, yet they want somebody to pay them. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. Because value knows value. Value knows value. This is why those who are wealth builders, the day they get there, they pay for the best in the world. And they get the best in the world. They are not about to come and be using time to search for free things anywhere. So if you pitch and say, this is my class, this is my, they will make that decision because they believe they believe they deserve the best of the best. Ivy League. So they would push themselves because they know exclusivity will create an exclusive life. And commonality, you consume everything that is available to everybody in the world. Guess what? You are going to create the same thing everybody is able to create. This is the mindset construct. The only reason you all can be enjoying what I'm teaching right now is because I have gone to the schools. I've sat at the feet of people, average people cannot. Because if all of you have access to everything that I'm teaching, if you already know it, then what's my use? What's the value here? What's the value here? There's none. If everybody is doing what you're doing and can do what you can do, everybody stays at that level. The day you want to break out, the day you look at the mirror and you say, I don't deserve this place, I want more, that is the day you realize you cannot be doing what everybody around you is doing anymore. And everybody around you right now, they're on social media, circling social media, scanning social media, looking for what's on social. Trust me, everything you find on social media is what people have devalued to common. And wealthy people, successful people, they are not about to be doing what you're doing. They are flying, they have private coaches, they have private chefs, they have private this, and they pay. It costs a lot to be them. And because it costs a lot, when they create anything, they want their money back. When Amazon creates anything, they are not playing. They are not playing. Amazon is not playing. Jeff Bezos is not playing with you. Right? Apple is not playing. When they release their cell phone, they are not, listen, pay me what? They want their money back. This is the energy you use to fetch money from the world. You want your money back. You want your investment back. Give me my investment plus reward me. And if you haven't invested, you can't, that energy is not inside you because your conscience will call you out. Your conscience will call you out. That thing, it will start telling you all kinds of stories. See that thing? Nobody will pay you for it. That thing, the same story you used to consume no value thing or low value thing, that story will replay when it's your own time. This is the psychology, human psychology, right? This is why we have to be careful what we are feeding our mind, the thinking patterns, how we think, because it will produce the day you want result, that thinking pattern will replay. The same story you told yourself when you were picking up things and eating it When it is time to serve other people, you will be serving people small, small doses, because the limited mindset will create limited results and outcomes. The same hand you use to scoop food on your own table, when it is time to serve other people, you will be micing. You'll be like, you will be giving people 10, barest minimum, because that mind is saying there is lack. That mind is telling you lack, lack. That stuff, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Tell yourself, call yourself back and say tell yourself what you think you deserve, the future you see in your mind. What do that person you see yourself, how does that person behave? Does that person behave the way you are behaving right now? How does that person spend? Not just even money. How does that person spend their time? Start using your mind to visualize. Like the creator method, I talk about visualization, manifestation, right? Thoughts, ideas. Start preparing your heart to receive good things. Only consume good things. It's like nutrients, food, the physical body. If you eat toxicity, the body doesn't like that. But if you eat fresh fruits, fresh things, organic, if you think you deserve organic, spend the money, buy organic, nurture your physical body. And I'm saying apply the same thing with your mind. But many people are eating here, eating here. Now their mind is like giving them confusing information. You did that to yourself, guys. If you are confused today, you confused your mind. I'm telling you, nobody will say this stuff. And that's why we keep on replaying perpetually, right? Nothing changes in the community because everybody's thinking the same way. Nobody wants to spend money. Nobody wants to give money. There's no generosity. There's no abundance mindset. There's no value. You don't value you. You don't value your neighbor. You don't value you. You don't value your neighbor. You can't give to your neighbor and you say your neighbor will not give to you and you want to make money. It's a mindset. Money making, wealth creation is a mindset born out of abundance and generosity. So anybody that mises like that goes, I don't want to spend money. Okay, who is going to spend money with you? It's a mind construct. It's not about money, because after all, money is a paper coin, but the story in the mind is that money is valuable, that paper money is valuable. So everything, we are all in this matrix, in this mind matrix. We're dealing with one another with our minds. It's not just with our money, it's with our mind. You spend money in your mind first before you bring the physical evidence of money. Right? We're not physically in the same spot right now, but our mind, we are exposing minds to each other. I'm exposing mine to you, you are exposing, right? Humans deal, we experience the world in the mind. Who you are. Bible, Jesus said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. When you start thinking a certain way, you start being a certain way. Poverty is a way of thinking and being. Wealth builder is a way of thinking and being. You can cross over anytime you're ready. All you have to do is just think differently. I'm telling you, in a moment, you can cross over from your mind. This is what happened to the prodigal son in the Bible. He strayed away from the wealth of his family and he found himself in a poverty space. His thinking brought him down to the pig's pen. And in a moment, he looked around him and said, I don't be, as a child of God, this is not what God told me. So you can change it in an instant. When you look around you at your conditions and you see what you are eating or about to eat, and you are behaving like somebody that, right, you think it's condition. No. In a moment, you can snap out of it based on the story you tell yourself. You can tell yourself, I deserve the best. Even use your God. My God has the best for me. And say, let me go back to him. That's where transformation births place. But until you move your mind out of that space, you still the prodigal son will still be hanging around in that condition. Yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's happening in the mind. You put your head inside a story that tells you You are not anything, you don't have anything, you are not valuable, nobody will pay you, nobody will do this. That's all you'll be seeing right? But the day you can lift up your head and say, enough, 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 and you tell yourself a whole story and start moving in the other direction, that's when transformation gives birth to. In a moment, in a flash, you can move from, right? You can move into abundance mindset. It's just thinking, guys. It's just thinking. It's a belief in yourself. Value yourself enough. It's inside you. It's like, this is when you say, I don't want any nonsense anymore. Like, trust me, this is when you do this work, you will create boundaries. First, boundaries in the mind. The thoughts you're going to accept and believe as yours, you have to create a boundary there. Guard your heart, right? Renew your mind. Guard your heart. Because when you don't guard your heart and you don't protect your mind, you become a function of the society you find yourself in. The thinking of everybody around you becomes your thinking. The behavior of everybody, the acceptable behavior of everybody else around you becomes your own behavior. Guarding your heart is saying no. That's where it starts from. And the moment you start saying no, you start moving in a different direction and you start creating a result that is distinct from the people around you. But as long as you're doing, but excuse me, but as long as you're doing what everybody's doing, you get what everybody's doing. Everybody around you. As long as you are doing what they are doing, you'll be getting what they are doing. But I'm saying you better be, the only way that works in your favor is if you're in a community of well builders. The only time it works for you positively, this mindset conditioning, is that when you are in the community of wealth builders, if they are buying a yacht, you will buy. If they are buying a car, you will buy. Because you will be seeing how they are doing it and you'll be learning from them and you'll be creating the same result. The same construct is true. Is that if everybody around you is complaining, you'll be complaining. If everybody says there's no money, you will say there's no money. This is how humans are created, guys. Your community influences your mind. You influence them, they influence you. If you don't guard your heart, if you don't guard your mind and expose it to the right things that will help you, you will listen, right? Out of it are the issues of life. But if you're in the community of money people, oh, listen, enjoy that community. Very, very soon, you'll be doing what they're doing. You'll be taking your children to the private schools too. That's how this thing works. If you look around you and you don't like what you're seeing, be like the prodigal son. Tell yourself a different story. I think I'll start wrapping up. I wanted to go into a lot of technical things today, but the conversation has gone where it ought to go. Let me see. Any other thoughts? Let me start wrapping up, guys. The mind, yes, David, the mind is the factory of your life. There's a whole program, the game plan 2.0, 30 keys to unlock success in my school. The link is up above in my academy, my online school. Everything is important. 30 keys to unlock success, mindset, success principles. These are the things we ought to be focusing, right, to nurture ourselves and build. We actually have to rebuild ourselves. Do you know I have to rebuild myself. I have to put myself together again. I have to rebuild myself, because when you find out that how you're thinking, how you're behaving is not aligned to where God is taking you, you have to do the work. Say, let the mind of Christ be in you. And when you are not ready to do the work and you're saying, oh, this, oh, that, nothing changes until you change. Because you are the creator of your reality. Even the government, the best government in the world, is not responsible. Listen, the same America, this same America, you can come here. The mind you come here with is what will create your reality. The only thing is that it increases the chances for those who want to do this work. So more wealth to be created in environments like this, but it doesn't mean that everybody's creating wealth. It's like, if you want wealth, you can create it. Nobody's stopping you. But I'm telling you, not everybody still goes on that journey. So even in the best of this, what I'm talking about still matters. It matters anywhere you go in the world. in the best of nations, with the best of government, it's still back to the individual. What do you want for your life? What are you ready to invest in? You can be in America and not go to school. You can be in America and not get a job. You can be in America and not build a this. In this same America, it's still down to you, what you will do with the opportunities in front of you. So let nobody say this. The mind you come into America with is going to determine what you enjoy, who you are, what the reality you create. Yes, there will be lights. Yes, there will be um, amenities. But what you do with your cell phone, what you do with the time God gave you, what you do with your resources and the opportunities, guess who determines that? It's you, your choices. So whether you are there or here or here or here or here, this what I'm sharing today is it holds true. Many people will still do excuses. If I'm here, I will do this. If I'm here, okay. Many people are here. Go and ask them what they're doing. Chisholm, please respond to what I'm saying. Let people know that I'm not bear me witness, please.
So to I'll speak to everyone who doesn't really know you. Listen, I say this and I attest to this that Coach Tony is the real deal. She doesn't she doesn't sugarcoat things. So if you want real value without the sugary stuff, the real deal, she's the one to listen to. And there's something about, for me, it's not wishy-washy. It's principles. That's the key thing. Principles that are time tested and stands true. And that was the attraction. That was what drew me to you and your person, your personality, and the faith. You're faith based, and I could go on, but most he who has ears, let them listen.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And for me, I think what's those of us who say we know God more ought to understand God. Like like this is the unfortunate thing. We that actually have a relationship with the creator of planet Earth, that we've given our life to his son Jesus Christ, we are the ones supposed to be telling other people, wake up. But yet we are the one not implementing. It's sad. You know why? Because we think his blessings requires no effort. But let this story, right, remind us the children of Israel, right? They were promised a promised land, but because they refused to fight, they didn't enjoy it. Let that be a lesson to all Christians, that God can give you incredible promises. In fact, in your word, mother's womb, I ordained you. I did, right? But if you don't train yourself, you can be anointed. David was anointed. He was seriously anointed. But guess what? Let your work match your anointing. Let God be proud of you. Okay? Let your resolute match that anointing. If you are a prophet, be prophetic. Right? If you're Bible talks about, if you're a giver, if you have the gift of giving, give. By your works, men shall know who you are. But today, there are places we can't preach because we don't have results. There are places we cannot minister to simply because those people are generating results and you are telling them, oh, this, they're like, what can you contribute to my life right now? This thing it goes deep into spiritual dimensions, spiritual matters. So until we actually know the God we say we know, because the Bible says they who know their God, they shall do exploits. So maybe there's a dimension of God we are yet to experience. Maybe that's why we are not doing exploits. Could that be? Could that be? Could that be? Since they who know, If you put this your relationship to practical, to practice, what would it look like? If you put this message that says all things are possible, what would you make possible? What would you create? What impact would you have? Whose life will be changed and transformed? So, in a way, that's the when you are endowed with greatness and so much blessings and power and energy, particularly spiritual, right? And then physically, we are not manifesting. We are not. The whole world is waiting actually for the manifestation of the children of God. It's waiting for us because there are places we all ought to be occupying and ruling. There are spaces your voice ought to matter. There are places you ought to be influencing and transforming. There are cities you ought to be leading. There are nations you ought to be speaking into. But when you haven't spoken into yourself, what can you tell another person to do better? If you haven't fixed your own stuff, how can you fix stuff for other people? So many people are not getting the transformation they need because you haven't done your own transformation. You've not gone on your own journey. Right? To him, whom much is given, much is expected. But part of this journey, too, because of awareness, is that we were conditioned and trained to not do any of these things I'm talking about. We weren't told we were responsible for our village and family and community. We weren't told. We were told you are responsible for yourself. Go get a job, sit here, and care only about this person and this person and this person. And we don't know that the leadership God is calling us to is more than that. That was one of the things I had to navigate years ago when my dad passed, realizing that wait a minute, I'm at a place where I can provide food for my like if this life is about feeding, Bible talks about it's not about food and drink. The birds of the air, they do not toil, yet they do God was telling you life is not about what you can eat, consume alone. So then go and ask God, what is your life about? If it's not just about, you didn't come to the world just to eat and drink. That's what God is saying. Impact your product and services, right? Your creation will impact the world. Out of impact, you will generate reward. When I navigated all this and I realized, wait a minute, do I want to live? Is this what I'm going to be chasing? If I've already figured out, livelihood for me, could I also figure out livelihood for other people? Or will I stay trying to I forget that how that stuff came into my mind there. It was so jarring that man, it changed my life. It was like, is this it? Continuing to live in survival mode of keeping, more house, more this, more this, more this. I already have cracked that code. If it's a job I need, I've already cracked the code. I know I can do this to put food on my table. But at that time, I'm like, no, can I actually help other people put food on their own table? That's where the birthplace of this. I didn't know it would lead to teaching, right? I didn't know it would lead to teaching. But what I was trying to crack the code was, okay, if I figured out how to do this, there are so many people in the world that they don't have this capacity. Can I dedicate myself to learn how to help other people create a livelihood? That was the birthplace of all of these things. Because it's a worthy cause. Now it's a mission. It's a bigger play. Now it's purpose. Now it's impact and transformation. That's where my own started from. This idea that my life is much more than, doing is this, doing is that. But can we solve bigger things? Can I use my life? Can you use your power, your influence, what God has? Can you use it to create something bigger than just sustenance, survival? Survival is a never-ending story. People survive from 0 to 60, 100, 70. Even you still be calculating, bills, how can I pay? That stuff never ends. It never ends. As long as you are paying your electricity bill, this bill, that bill, food bill, as long as you are eating food, wearing clothes, paying bills, that stuff does not end. So when people are saying, oh, I'm waiting for the perfect time, what did Bible say? You are withholding your seed because you are looking for perfect weather. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You wait forever. So people are like, oh, I cannot do this because I'm waiting for A, B, C, D. That's why people wait forever. Some people will tell me, oh, when I retire, I will have more time. But by that time, the energy of your youth that ought to allow you to do all these things, it's missed opportunity. Because the risk, I was speaking at by the way, if you're just joining, this is the wrap up. The conversation totally shifted. My school, there are tons of classes there. But I remember I was speaking at a trade investment event. It was held in New Jersey, New York. I joined virtually, but people were in person. And then some, like central bank. It was a banking function. Bank executives were there, blah blah blah, right? And I was speaking. And I remember sitting, and people were holding microphones and asking some questions that really was surprising. Because many people in that room were of a certain age. The questions they were asking was very interesting and fascinating. Many of them, they knew they had lost time. And so they were asking, tell me where I can invest that there is no risk. They are looking for guarantee returns. Go and put that money in the bank and be getting the percentage. If you are of a certain age or you've retired and you're looking for guaranteed zero risk, put it in a bank. Literally in that room, the energy was like, this money, because now is their retirement money they want to play with. Now is their 401k they want to invest with. Now they cannot afford to lose it because there's no time. And in my mind, I'm going, and this thing, I'm sure God has been telling you 20, 30, 40 years ago to take more risks, to try certain things, because now you will need it. God knew when it is now, you will need it and your children will need it. But because you didn't do all of these things, because many of us are having to try this again because nobody did this work for us. And if we don't do the work, guess what? The next generation will still have to do it. The children of Israelites that they didn't fight, the children they gave birth to many years later, they still had to conquer. Because the door to the promised land, you have to conquer. The doors to wealth creation, you have to conquer. So if it hasn't been, if the previous generation didn't crack the code, at least you try to crack the code. And if you don't crack the code, the next generation will have the assignment again. Otherwise, they will do what you are doing. They will do what everybody has done. Right? So yes, that's why I said 30 keys to unlock success. In my head, it's like I was trying to paint this picture. You want to open the door. You don't know which combination. Try everything, guys. Try everything. Try everything. Because if somebody else has done it before, they can give you the key. But if you have 30 keys in your hand, try this, try this. Sometimes it could be a combination lock, 4 keys, right? But if you're not trying and you're sitting back, nothing. So that's it, guys. It's a wrap. There were so many things. This in my classes. Somebody came in yesterday and was like, oh, Toyin, do you have a PowerPoint? I said, the PowerPoints are in my school. You're on social media, I'm on social media. Let's socialize. That's what social media is for. I will thoroughly socialize. But my workbooks are not. Listen, you want my workbooks? Enroll. You will invest. You will take the time. You become my student. You will study to show yourself approved. Right? Which is also part of this thing that people are doing. You want the best of me? Give me the best of you. If you want the best of Toyin, give Toyin the best of you. Invest in yourself. And until you do, let's keep socializing. Let's keep, smiling, enjoying these moments. I'll challenge you, I'll motivate you, I'll inspire you. But the day you want results and you don't want to suffer too much for that result because it's stressful. This thing is stressful. If you want to just follow my process or roadmap and be drinking tea and doing the assignments and following the process, enroll toyinmesiri.academy. You can learn more about other programs. So if you're an established business looking to scale, or if you're a startup founder, that's what my school is about. And then government, for government engagement, my events, we have a different platform for that. But head over to toyinumesiri.com/programs. The reason is because the earlier you do this training, the sooner you get results. Miss Kubalaga here, she went through 2022. She was with me every week last year. Today, today she has her own story. And those who didn't go on that journey last year, they're still coming back and still, oh, this, oh, that. I'm like, the school is still there. If you like, wait another year. I will still be telling you, go to my school. I'm not bringing my school to social media. There are over 300 resources there. I'm a prolific writer. I write, I teach, I coach, books, everything. That's where the library doesn't come to you. You go to the library and you register and you start your work. I will keep saying this because many people are assuming that one day, if I follow Toyin for 1 year, one day I will get everything from Toyin. No, no, you are tricking yourself. It's your time you're wasting. Listen, in that moment, I'm collecting more people, right? I don't listen. This is it for me, guys. This is it. I'm already positioned. Go on, Jason.
Yeah, thank you. And I just wanted to say, no, I appreciate you. I think it's definitely worth it. What people don't understand, when they don't do the work and workbooks and process, I'm probably going to do that, maybe in September because of when I will be doing my master's. I think I appreciated that you were honest as well. Like some people, they just want to get every piece of business. But when you said that, for instance, like the prestige, there's certain things that a university environment that I want, that I want to pay for your things, but that I can't get because I want the people that are going to be there. And because there's people that are going to be there, I'm still going to benefit in a different way. So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do both, right? I'm going to do your school, and I'm going to also find a Tyndale University, because that's the biggest Christian university in the second biggest country in the world, well, in Canada, right? So the thing is that I can get something different from both. I'm not going to get the entrepreneurial mindset from there, but I'm not. But if I say I went to your school compared to if I went to Tyndale and I'm going to go be a minister at a church, they're going to be like, well, if you go to Tyndale, you can minister here, but same. So I'm going to get something from both, and I think people have to stop thinking they're going to get everything from everything. Like it's just like if you try to get marry one person, you expect to get everything from that person. You're not going to get everything from anything. You know what I'm saying? God put a lot of different people for a lot of different things. So I appreciate you.
Trust me, you're going to get social. You're going to get social media. Social media will give you social media. You're going to get Toyin social. And then I do a little bit more than most people. If you spend an hour with me here, you'll be challenged. Something will shift. So you will get the version wherever you show up in, wherever you invest in, you get what is available in that dimension. If you go to a chamber of commerce meeting, if you invest in chamber of commerce, you get what chamber of commerce will give you. If you invest in a yacht club, you will get people who are in a yacht club. If you invest in a golf club, you will get what is available in a golf club. If you invest on social media, you get what is available on social media. Period. That's it. When you show up in whatever is available there, it's there. But I know that, listen, why I host international trade summits, where I bring like ambassadors, trade experts, there's something we call trade information. Let me give you a secret. There's something we call trade information, where the money is. You will not find it on social media. You will not find it in a newsletter, in your newspaper. You can search all you want. The people who hold this thing is under lock and key. So my events, they will bring their PowerPoints, their life work. They will even, there are some, do you know what they send to me? They will tell me where gold mine is, where money is. They will give me the map of their country. They will point to the district where they've discovered oil. And you think it's on social media. Sorry. Think again. Think again. There's something we call trade information. Trade information is what leads you to investment opportunities. You think that stuff you can Google it? No, 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 no. That's why my events, I'll bring government, bring this, bring them. So if you come into the room, you'll be like, how no, nobody is telling us. Why would they tell you? Why would they tell the whole world where the gold is so that everybody can go and take? Nobody. Nobody. It's exclusivity. Only those of us who paid to be in this room will get what is in this room. Leave them out there on social media. They will mine, go and keep mining the streets of social media. You will get what is social. This is what is dividing the whole world. Knowledge, exposure, relationship. Those who want the best, they will fly. They will go and knock on the doors. I'm hosting my weekly trade. How do I my talk show? Listen, people will fly in because the people we're having governments, resources, grants, this. They will come and explain. And if you're in the room, you will shake hands, you build relations. That's how I do this. Do you think all these things is on social media? Do you think what I'm teaching I got it from social media? No. No, 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 no. This is where boundaries come in. No. In May, you see me when I'm posting when I'm posting pictures of me shaking hands and me in room speaking. What do you think I'm doing? That's not social media. That's real life. And so you don't want to do it. And you think I will now bring everything. No, it doesn't happen that way. Social media, you get social media doing. And social media's doing is better than most people's what other people have to offer. Right? But I always challenge my students. The day you move into the business, trade, investment network, you cannot be doing what other people are doing. You cannot. Because you are going where they are not going. You have to separate your mind and you have to separate yourself. You are running a different race. The day you cross over into business, trade, and investments, those things don't happen on social media. And even if they're happening on the internet, they're happening in private virtual rooms. There are virtual room deals, there are virtual summits happening. You know, we all had to go on into digital when COVID happened. Before COVID, it was worse, guys. Before COVID, everything happened physically in closed rooms. You didn't even know these things were happening. COVID brought all of us into digital. So at least sometimes you see headline of events. But trust me, if you are not in that event, you have no clue what's going on in that place. You don't know the pie they are sharing. You don't know. If you're not in there, you're not there. Where you put your mind and your physical bodies, that's all you know. And there's so much you don't know. This is why you are supposed to be pursuing knowledge, relationship, transformation. When you humble yourself and realize what you don't know is more than what you know. What other people know is more than what you know. And you need what they know to power your life. That's why we chase after people. And I see out here in the street, they're like, Toyin, come back again tomorrow. Guys, you are supposed to be running after things that are valuable. And if you don't run after, if you don't throw your money at it, listen, throw your money into my academy, running. And if you don't throw your money, you get social. I will give you social, I will talk, we will laugh, I will that's what you want. And then I will close up. You know, when this is over, I'll just bye. I'll just end stream, close this off, and then I'll go into my real life. And then you see the pictures when I'm hosting government, you see the pictures, you hear the stories, and that's it. That's it. That's what this is for me. That's why I've started waking up early. Let me start this social media thing. get it out of the way, close it off, and then start my day. Still, I've been at this is 8:25, guys. I've been doing this since 6:30. I still have my right. When this is done, I close this out. I'm done. I'm done. I've socialized enough. And then real life begins. But when people think real life is social media and they're not moving and they're telling everybody come on social media, no, we are not coming. No, we are not coming. Bring it on. No, I'm not bringing. You will pursue value that will transform your life. And if you don't want to pursue value, keep reading the newspaper, keep scrolling on social media, keep getting all the newsletter subscription. Keep that. You are getting the barest minimum from people who hold incredible value. It's generosity. You'll be enjoying generosity instead of pursuing greatness. That thing is sad. It's sad. Those who want to be great and do great things, the lion runs. Let something in us, let something in you make you run. And that running is not once a week, it's not once a month, every day. That's why in my academy, you will see posting, you will see classes every day. You will see something every day. See, I can listen. I teach so much. It's never stopping. This fountain is flowing. Right? This fountain is flowing. That's why I said I am where I right my talk. I also have a talk show in addition to social media. Guess what? Even physically, I'm talking. I'm talking and teaching. So this is it for me. Find your own place. Sit there and live your life, beautiful life. Anyway, thank you for socializing with me. Listen, I'll call it out. In your own community, whatever city you are in right now, ask around. Business people are meeting in private places, not social media. Go and subscribe to your local chamber of commerce. That's where businesses are done. That's why where they buy and sell. That's where they are making money. That's where they are making introductions. Whatever city, if you're listening to me or watching the replay, start there. Every city has business people meeting, exchange, they are doing deals, they're talking about business. You will learn from them. Get off social media. Or if you're online, get into private, like my online school, get into places where it will teach you, it will nurture you, it will build you up. You find people you can do business with. You find people who can sell you what you need. You find people you can sell to. Because if you have something you can't sell, do you know that's also one of the challenges, right? You have something to sell, but nobody in your community wants to buy. That's the problem, guys. If you find yourself in a community that is not buying what you're selling, move to another community. or always talk about networking is your escape. Jump out the window, go and make money somewhere else, and then come and play with your people. There was a group that they told me all they are doing in that group is play. You know what I'm talking about. The day you say let's talk about serious, they will kick you out. They say you are too serious because that community was designed for Friday relaxation, no business, no money, just nothing. And you are spending all your life in such a room. The day you say you want to sell, they say no selling here. The day you say you want to learn, they say no. Run away if you're a business person. Go and find a room where every day they're asking you, what are you selling? What are you buying? That's the marketplace. Find marketplaces where people can buy what you've created and you too can buy from them. That's where our commerce is. If you go into a community that is dry, nobody is selling, nobody is buying, there's no money flowing in that country community because the way money flows is money changes hand with value transaction. So when you go into another community and you see people bubbling, houses, you see affluence, is because people are buying and selling. People are creating value and exchanging value. That's the only way money flows in an economy. So when an economy is tight, it's because people are not buying anymore and people are not selling anymore. And then money doesn't flow anymore. So just watch out for that. Watch out for that. It's so important. that you move yourself into places where there's generosity. People are buying, people are selling. If you are in the business, trade, and investment space, because there are other spaces that is not dedicated to business, trade, and investment. And if you move into that world, now you also need to be spending more time in that space. Okay. Last words. I'm closing out. David, your last words, please. Okay. If you're not there, Jason, your last words.
No, I'm actually here.
Okay, David, go on.
Oh, okay. It's always a pleasure listening to you, Ma. And I don't think we can overstress the part of you need to invest in knowledge for you to really acquire the needed capacities for you to move on. And like I say, I was the last time I was talking about the three starters that you were talking about, like you operate at the highest level, the mid level, on the base. And I personally, I'm in love with the base because of I feel there is a lot of opportunities there, because like you talked about productivity, we need to infuse wealth creation into the people of a country for the country to become productive. There's a need for us to change our mindset, and I feel that if we're going to catch them, then let's catch them young. Our youth today need to really be educated for the continent to really soar in the coming years, because definitely they are going to be they are the tomorrow of the continent. They are the tomorrow of our communities. So the youth play a long like a very big part in this. So I personally, like I said the other time, I have a couple of friends whereby we put this thing together, a business design academy, whereby we actually teach small business owners. Even though we include startups and all that, I think we ran the first phase of the whole thing this year, and it was quite a success. Because there are a lot of I will not say jargons, but there are a lot of industry specific words that you use that to some of them they actually don't understand anything about it. You understand? And I keep seeing programs whereby you come, they just in 12 weeks they want to instill the whole business, whatever, in you, and it doesn't work like that. If it was that easy, I think people won't spend 20 years, like you said, in school for them to become who they are today. So we have to break down those things, even for the people that for the informal sector. I'm really, really, really concerned about the informal sector because it's going to play a very huge part in developing Africa. Because we need to structure our informal sector for us. If you're going to be productive, the informal sector needs to be structured, because there's a lot of value there, and we are not making use of that. So like I say, I really appreciate what you keep on doing, and I believe that a lot of us are going to come through that school. We are going to definitely, it's already in my plans to join the school and learn more so that we can come back to the base, become what we need to do, who we need to become, so that we can come back to the base and actually teach other people and tell them this is the way for you to go and all that. Yeah. So I want to say thank you again, and God bless you.
Thank you, because there are so many things you went into now. So I actually developed something called the Trade with Africa's framework, and it has pillars. Any country that wants to advance and develop, right? What are the pillars of growth? Where do they need to invest? Whether it's agriculture, education, grassroots, all those things, right? So when it comes to strategic planning for government, those are some of the things at the government level. But let me give you. Can I share some things with you, because I don't want to impose.
No problem. Go ahead, my boy.
Okay. So if you divide your community, including yourself, into, let's just say, 3 education levels. Okay? Because in traditional education, they'll say primary school, secondary school, tertiary. So in the industry, all of the people you're trying to train, if you really want to be successful, you need to divide them up. You need to put them into levels. Level 1, level 2, level 3. You have to figure out what criteria you would use to filter who is level 1, level 2, level 3. Because if you bundle all of them up and you're trying to teach all of them the same thing, you realize that they are not at the same level. So level 1, level 2, level 3, you will soon start realizing maybe the informal sector, maybe some of them, they can just read and write, right? They can just read that. They can just barely do additions. This is the reality of nation building. Let me just give you that. If that's what you want to go after, you realize that there are some people at the base of the pyramid. They can work really, really hard on the farms. They can do A, B, C, D, but but their comprehension is at or should I say, the education growth they have is A, B. They can count, they can add, they can do basics of social. What program needs to be given to those people is different from, say, level 2. Maybe they just came out of university, right? They've been trained to be an employee. Now you need to transform their mind. But guess what? There's something really difficult when somebody is a new graduate that do not have real world experience. They don't have basic discipline. They don't have time management. They are lacking leadership because they've not gone into the industry and back. There's a lot of coaching. You almost have to bring them up to speed to professionalism. The third group, they have degrees and they have experience. Those are the people I can talk to. The third group, they've gone to school, they've spent 5 years, 10 years in the industry. They are capable, they are highly skilled, highly professional, but they need wealth education. So when I take them through my school, they are the ones that unleash and activate the group 1 and 2. I'm sharing this with you to give you I don't teach level 1 and level 2. I don't. Because to your point, what I'm talking about now will fly over their head. Level 3 are my target. People who have many degrees and have professional experience. You have industry, you've worked for somebody else, because there's a discipline that we develop when we work for other people. Many people that just graduated, they have entitlement, they don't have discipline. They've not showed up to a job consistently for 10 years. They've not disciplined. They have book knowledge, they don't have discipline. So you find out that many people that are fresh graduates, you have to be talking, you will tell them show up now, they won't show up. They are difficult to lead, extremely difficult to lead. They think they can stay in their house and you have to come and beg them. I'm telling you, this is why. If you are ready to confront that, I'm not ready. I am not ready to confront that mindset that lacks discipline. That's not my response. That they are not my own people. But I will tell you, if you think they are your people, I will tell you what you are going to face and what you ought to be ready for. You actually ought to be teaching them time management, right? Product leadership. That's actually what you ought to be giving those people. The things they haven't gotten by working for other people. Those that I can immediately transform are those who are professionals. They have incredible degrees. They have discipline in the mind. And so when I come with my school, with my workbooks, they are easily activated. They can run. They don't need, I don't need to baby them. I don't need to be, I don't need to be saying, oh, no. I don't have to be doing that. No, because I'm not ready to do that, by the way. I'm not ready. I'm not that person. I'm not. I don't have it in me to be. No, I know myself, by the way. So that's why. But if you're a professional and you want to learn how to build wealth and you are serious and you are focused and you are determined and you are hardworking, Toyin Women Academy will take you to that next level. But if you're just getting a degree and you are lost, you need leadership, you need self-confidence, You need somebody to guide you, because when you come out of those degrees, you are lost. You are looking for a job. That's what people are looking for. They are oriented towards looking for somebody that will master and culture and lead them. That's the sad thing about that education system. Instead of coming out of it fully able, capable to start a business and lead yourself, no. So watch out for that. Level one, grassroots. Level two, fresh graduates. Level three, professionals. The people I invest in and I focus on, that I believe I can coach to success in a very accelerated, sped up manner, are the professionals. I cannot help, because, for example, your teammates, the events your teammates host, I will come spend 30 minutes maybe, right, speaking. But what would that do to fresh graduates? At best, I will motivate. At best, I would inspire. At best, I will excite. At best, I will give them a sense of possibility. As best, I will say there's greatness in you. Go, go, go for it. I used to be PRO. I used to do all the event. Greatest Nigerian, this greatest. So yes, I will shout. You will shout. You will be excited. I'll do what Tony Robbins does. I will create, the energy. But when it's time to do work, I will leave it up to you guys and I'll run away. Because there's a lot of discipline that is still lacking in that community. Make sense, David?
I have a theory.
Yes, it makes sense. Makes sense. And like you talked about we need to divide them. We even had that problem like when we started. So on the second phase, I think like you said, we are going to bring them together and then divide them, because there was a lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and I think separating them according to their levels is what is going to make the job easy for us. And like I was saying, I was not actually like asking you to come down to talk today. I was like, we are going to come to you so that we will reinforce whatever we know, or whatever we have as knowledge, then come back
And then
instill
train
that.
the trainer. Yes. That's my approach. That's what I believe. That's why I say, it's raising leaders that have a listen. You have 1 billion people on the continent. How do you run through this? Is that collectively leaders must rise up, train themselves, and then take it back into their community. So that's where I stand. That's where I stand, because you guys have the trust, you guys have the relationship. Because part of this too is for you guys to have right relationships that empowers you to do all these things, right? This is why when I host my events, you need to, as you are pouring yourself into these people, don't go dry. Make sure you have people who are pouring into you, not just teaching you, but pouring money. All these things takes money. I have people who write me checks, right? When I'm hosting events, I look for sponsors. Somebody has to sponsor and underwrite all these mobilization efforts. Somebody, whether it's the government, whether it's private sector, somebody got to mobilize. Whose responsibility is to mobilize a nation? Government, write me check. I will teach, I will coach, I will mobilize, I will host. But the gospel needs underwriters. So when I see people like you working really hard with nothing, with the little salary you're having, it's a miss. Go out there, go and build relationship with the banks, go and build relationship with the mayor, the governors. They have money. The people who have money are not doing this work. The people doing the work do not have money. Okay, this is my sinister laugh. Those of us who are called, who have solutions, who have classes and courses and want to do this work, you have to go and partner with the banks and do entrepreneurship events. Bring their logo. Tell them, these people will come and open bank accounts with you. Get the UBA, all these banks to sponsor and underwrite all this mobilization. Otherwise, you can't sustain these things. You can't, because your people will be expecting free, which is why I say free doesn't work. But only go and find the generous people that will generously write checks so that you can generously create value. Value, nothing is free. Somebody has to pay for it. Somebody pays for charity, guys. So unless the people you are coaching are ready to drop something into the offering box. This is why church, those who don't drop into the offering box, may God forgive them. Right? So that community is it that they all put something inside the offering box, or you go and get a big check that will cover the cost. Otherwise, this is why initiatives die off. Brilliant initiative, not well funded, they will soon fizzle out because it's tiring and it's a thankless job. Watch out for that. So invest in building. If you need to fly all over the world to go and find people who believe in youth empowerment, youth mobilization, there's a lot of money poured into those things. UNDP, there are so many programs. That's why I always say my summits. If you are a leader and you're trying to pull this, if you don't want to break your back, you don't want to lose steam, you need to have some check writers on your side. So don't just empty yourself and say you are doing this, and you are not prioritizing refilling your fuel tank. The car stops eventually, guys. I'm talking from experience. Even this morning when I woke up, I said, listen, I can teach, I can coach, I will teach, I will coach, I will motivate, I will do this. But where are the checks? Who is responsible? I'm working for somebody. Somebody was responsible for building these things. Even if you're not going to do the work, write me a check. Send a check to Toyin Mesiri. Okay, guys. Jason, your parting words, please. If people want to know the truth, even charity is a business model. Go on, Jason.
That cost me my house at 33 Jesus Life Overage because I was doing these Toronto Poets events. Everybody loved them, but I was the only one that was paying. So I had $25,000 of debt. So now I meet people that are younger to try to do the same thing. I'm like, if you want it to cost you your house, you have to get somebody or a company or something. So that's why I'm okay that I'm not really booked for a lot of things because unless they're paying me, like I don't have anybody right now. So I'm like, I'll just do more education and that's fine. And it's fine if it takes years for people to know that I'm the one to book for these things because unless somebody is paying for it, I already sold my house twice. I sold my house last year already. So again, right, a second time. So you're right. And the thing is, and I'm understanding, I basically am only level 3. I only teach level 3 people. I'm 46. I don't have time for kindergarten and even the level 2. I don't have time. So I'm okay with the fact that I don't have a huge community because to have a huge community, you have to have a lot of people at level 1 and 2 because there aren't that many people at level 3. So I'm okay with not having millions of people. Like, see Facebook, it's because everybody's on Facebook, right? And I don't want to be like that. And then you were talking about Bill Gates. It's not just that. It's not you don't give the person the goods. If you don't go through the process, you can't do it. It's just like it doesn't matter if you give the person all of the bricks to build a skyscraper. Unless you go through the process, you can't say, oh, I have everything. It's just going to be a lump of, bricks there, right? So it's going through the process of building something is where you get the learning. It's the work. It's not the things. Because everything is here. The whole planet is here. It's the building of the thing to organize it in the structure. That's when you actually know how to do something. So that's why I was reading a book, and it's a really brilliant guy, and he's talking about the nations. Why, for instance, and I can say this is factually, why he says, and it's not a race thing, why he says like Nigeria and say North Korea, they have resources, but South Korea is doing better, and another country is might be doing better. It's because if the stuff is in the ground, and it takes a lot of people to collaborate, but the stuff is in the ground, then another country that has the resources will take the things out of the ground. Then everybody starts fighting with who's going to take the things out of the ground. But if you don't have that and you have to build, like South Korea is doing better because South Korea doesn't have all those resources in the ground, so the people are working together. So that's the first time I understood and explained. I said, why, for instance, we might have a lot of resources, but if they're in the ground, then everybody's going to fight to take them out of the ground, right? Same thing in Canada, right? It's about who takes it out of the ground. So if you don't have the mass to take it out of the ground, you have to work together, and that's what we need to do. But I'm not going to be the one to spend all the money to do all of that. I think that what you have to do is realize what your calling is. And me,
Mm,
I'm just called a level three now. I already cost my two houses. I'm not going to try to help all of the masses and stuff like that. I'm all right with meeting people that are ready at level three because look, I try to teach the kids at my church in high school, and I didn't even last a year in 2011. Why? I got 100% in grade 10 math, and I was teaching kids that got zero. These
mm,
are the kids that got kicked out of the public school system. Okay, so
mm,
if they're fighting, they got kicked out for not attending, and I got 100%, and I'm trying to teach kids that got zero. It's a total mismatch. I'm only level three. I'm content with being only level three. I don't even want to be like Anthony Robbins because at first I thought that was great, but you know what? At motivational speak, this is another thing. I'm doing a whole series. Motivational speaking doesn't work. People think that work. Look, you can go in and after you speak, you inspire people, whatever. But if you stay to see them get to where you are, you're gonna be 120. People still not going to the promised land. This is Jason.
mm.
That's
Yeah. So when it comes
Jason
to
spoke to all those people, but only 12% really followed fully, right? And one of them was a devil. I'm
oh
Jason.
no. So when it comes to human capital development, it's an entire science. It's well studied. It's well studied how to move nations forward. It is well studied. India has done it, right? In the 80s, they changed their curriculum. Do you know why? It's actually easier. This is where I play. It's easier for me to influence the government to change the curriculum and then go and hire people to teach than for me to attempt to be teaching millions of people. This is where strategy comes in. So, literally, if I want to do some things in entrepreneurship on the continent, I have a relationship with the economic development leader, the commissioner that actually is stable, is responsible for economic development of youth across Africa. I don't have to travel across Africa. I just put my school in front of him. This is a curriculum. This is this. This is this. We can work together if you want the entire Africa to adopt it. You guys have money and structure. This is your job. I will bring in expertise. This is the same team that was responsible for the implementation of the AFCFTA. They work with all the governments, all the presidents, and all the trade ministries, right? It's their job. They have the office, they have the letter. I will let them do their job. It's not my job to be traveling all over Africa, changing curriculum. No. So that's where I play strategically. So I actually have seat at the table. If I fly now, if I go to Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, the headquarters of AU, I will go into his office. I'll tell him this is what I think you should do. Let's come up with a program, entrepreneurship education across Africa. It will take us this, but let us work on it the next 2 years. That is more effect. It's an effective use of my time than for me running over, calling children, calling this, calling that. No, I'm not. No, 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 no. So when I tell you relationship matters, people don't understand. When you see me every week with small business administration, all the key stakeholders, because their office has the responsibility for these things we're trying to do. There's an office, and the office has funds and budgets and money. Guys, be smart. To influence the continent, I don't have to fly all over the continent. I already know this. I'm a strategist. I served as a strategist to the biggest company in the world. When you want to do big things, this is when I talk about strategy, right? You need precision. Running all over the place, burning energy, resources, crying is it's because you don't have strategy. Strategy simplifies results. So I'm just giving you my own top secret. Right? My own top secret, I just gave it to you. Strategic relationships will save you a lot. Every week, okay, you will see me. I'm hosting. People are flying in from Washington, D.C. to come to my show. Those people have budget, office resources that I don't have. But I have relationship and I can influence. I can influence. I can influence. I don't have to be, oh, throwing here, throwing there. You born, I'm not looking. I always joke, I'm not looking for wrinkles, guys. I don't want wrinkles. Don't give me. There's no stress in this matter. There's no stress. I'm not ready to stress. Don't stress me. Don't stress me. stress me, please. Don't stress me. That's why when I teach you entrepreneurship, you don't want to learn. It's stress if you don't learn. Lack of knowledge. People perish for lack of knowledge. So I'm telling you, you need relationships. If I want certain things done in a nation, right? When I hosted Nigerian Investment Summit, I did not travel anywhere. All I did was send a letter to the consulate general. It's his office. Here is my interest. Cover this letter, send it to the vice president of Nigeria. Invite him to come. It is your office. We are partnering with your office, and with this letter, send this letter to the VP. I don't have to go to the VP. I don't have to travel and go and stay 3 hours waiting for any VP. I'm not interested in that drama that people do. Strategic relationships, strategic partnerships. Right now, my TV show is in partnership with the mayor of my city. Everybody who does the camera, everything, every studio, I will just enter, do my work, do partnership, get result. Everybody's happy. I'm out. I'm not looking for stress. Strategies, right? Help you make sure you can get more results without all this other stuff. Right? Strategy. But when you don't have strategy, you don't have relationship, and you don't remember, I talked about value. You don't value your time, value your energy, you'll be on the ground crawling. When I say quantum leap, it's the caterpillar that needs to be a butterfly. You are crawling. They are telling you run faster. Caterpillar is running faster. And I'm telling you, mindset ascension, the what God has for you, you need to fly. You need to change your mindset. You need to transform. Go into my school, transform your way of thinking. You are still crawling. You are crawling. People can't listen to you. No money, no this, and yet you want to do big things. When would you finish the assignment God has for you? That's what. So for me, listen, you will see me smiling. You will see me feeling good. I will host events. I will host leaders, and then in private, we will talk about policy. Listen, I just put a video, a picture out on my LinkedIn this morning. Even here in the US, the chief missus of a nation, an Indian nation. Last year we had a conversation. I said, Tony, come to us. Guess what? I said yes, they are organizing something, and I will go in because they have access. They are leaders. They have access. They have money. They have resources to lead their people. I have knowledge, information, capacity. I can train. So let them pull their people together, invest, do what they ought to be doing, and they invite me. I will go do my own and leave. I'm not responsible for the nation, but I'm a resource. So yes, your nation has president, lawyer, they have all these governments. Form partnership with the government and help the government do their job. Let the government bear the cost. This is where you write proposal. When I say I trained entrepreneurs from 38 countries, you think it was my budget? No. No. It was the budget of United Nations. They pay me, I teach. So is it that the entrepreneur pays me or their government pays me? No. Right? So I'm just giving you, because otherwise you will wear yourself out. You will run all over the place. They will turn you into a beggar because you want to do the work God has for you. No, I've told me and God knows. This is God. I like nice things. I want private jets. So yes, I just gave you one thing. You'll be able to have greater impact if you can establish partnerships with the people that matter in that industry. It's simple, but many people, because the investment, here's what people don't know. The investment to build those relationships is actually heavy, but it will serve you forever. So when people are trying to save penny and eating free things, they can't build this muscle. When they tell me President of Ramaphosa is coming to South Africa, I will pay money, airline ticket, hotel. I will find myself into those rooms, get all the cards, get the email of the president. Yes, yes, I spoke to Ramaphosa. I'm like, this. He gave me the email of his this. Listen, I've emailed them before. I host the consulate, the trade commissioners for countries. To get those people, they are not on social media. So you actually have to invest to build those relationships. And that is what the investment people don't want to make. And so because they don't make that investment, they will keep going after ground floor. If I tell you now that I'm hosting an event and the consul general of Nigeria is there, the ambassadors are there, and I say this is the ticket, this is the this, and you don't fly in, you don't pay ticket, you don't pay hotel, nothing. But those who do, I have many people that are doing big things because they came into my events. One in Egypt, he told me, Toyin, your event, I met World Bank. We're doing World Bank project now. I'm like, because he came in, got the card of World Bank, and then he's even told me he went to DC to meet him in his office. But guess where he met him? It wasn't social media. It was at my event. So this type of network costs you to build and will pay you forever. And the things that do not cost you will not pay you. You see what I'm saying? To get into the rooms of decision makers, when I tell you now that later this year, the who's who in Africa, they are meeting in Cairo, Egypt. I tell you, they are all there in Cairo, Egypt. If I tell you fly to Cairo, you say it's too expensive. Don't worry, sit where you are. But if you go to Cairo, all the cards, I have piles of cards. The Dangotes of the world. I was in Cairo 20. I had breakfast with Dangote's people. We stayed in the same hotel, presidential hotel. I was a guest, flown first class. We sat down. Dangote, what are you doing? We eat together. I'll tell you what I'm doing. But you think that room is free? It's not social media. So when I keep telling people, invest, it's not just in classes or this, it's also in places and dimensions. Fly into where these people are. They will change your life. They will change your life. You pay up front, invest in yourself, and then forever, those relationships will keep generating their assets. 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 All the people I've hosted now, listen, nations, leaders, all I do is I just email them. But the cost to me to start and build those networks, that's what most people will not do. Most people will be chasing free this, free that. Where can free get you to? Where can free get you to? Social media. You say write check, they don't have. You say do this, they don't have. What are they investing in you? The people you are clicking with online. They've not taken class to better their own life. Is it your own work they will contribute to? You are doing life with people that will not pay to train themselves. Is it you they will write check to? Is it you they will write check to? People that have not invested to train themselves. When you want to do incredible work, is it you they will write check to help you achieve success? No. But the people who write checks, the people who do everything I'm talking about, they are not on social media. They are in my room. They are in the summits, events, and things I host. When you see me at DC, when I'm going to fly into DC and I'm meeting with people, government, you go and meet them. They don't come to you. You go, you have to invest and go in where they are. They don't, in fact, on social media, they cannot type anything. They can't type on social media because it's very risky to their job and their title. They cannot, everything they type, they cannot even type. These people I'm talking about, they cannot post, they cannot type on social media because all those things are tracked. They cannot. Social media is high risk for this class of people. You have a publicly traded company, you are running a nation, you are the trade commissioner, You are investor. You cannot be typing anything that people can read on social media. I'm telling you for a fact. Those who come into my events, you cannot see, they can't post anything. They are not permitted to post on social media. Their words carry so many impact. So social media is not where you network with them. They don't want to be quoted or misquoted. I've spoken at events before where our speech has to be pre-written and circulated ahead of time. Right? Because you give them permission to quote you in the media. The Director General for World Trade Organization was there. Ambassadors were there. I was on the same panel with them. I had to write my speech, guys. I had to read my speech. You can't just say anything randomly in those places. Media, governments, they are there. So you will find this group of people I'm talking about. They are not going to type. They don't have luxury of typing anything on social media other than maybe resharing events. The best they can do is to invite you to where they are. The best that they can offer you is to say, on these dates, we will be here. They can't say more than that because they are working for governments, they are working for nations, they are responsible for incredible investment fund. So every word they cannot, they are not socializing. Mark my word, the people you need in your side, on your side, the people you need to be working with, they cannot socialize on social media because of their offices, because of their impact. They cannot write anything, they cannot comment, they cannot post anything randomly. The best thing they can do is to tell you, we're hosting this event, be there. And if you're not there, that's it. The people that they are there, they will talk to them, they'll give them business card, they'll say, come to my office, they'll connect you, they'll do all those things. That's how it is done. That's how it is done. If you want to go into the exclusive spaces and you want to do what is not common, you'll get off social media. That's it. So I will come, I will socialize, I'll tell you these things, but trust me, I'll also then show you stories and pictures of what we're doing offline. I'll invite you. If you like, come. If you like, don't come. But that doesn't stop this work because the people who invest will continue to invest. The people growing their wealth, they will continue to do it. It's the people that have never done it that they don't know how to do it. And they are making assumptions that free content, like and follow and shares, and this is how you make money. Good luck with that. When that happens, please send me send me some checks. Oh my, this today's session has just gone. I need to, in fact, what I'll do is break this session into two because I think halfway in, I totally just went off the topic because I went more into wealth creation, mindset, all those things. So maybe I'll split this into two.
These are the things that I need because that's who I'm connecting with the people in Canada now. And maybe 3 years from now, you invite me to one of those things. Probably said I'll go to Africa, but right now I'm working in Canada. Right, as soon as you finish, I'm going to be calling the boards of trades and things like that, establish those relationships. So this was speaking to me. I found it valuable, and there's nobody else really that I've found that is teaching me these things. And look, I campaigned for 21st Prime Minister Paul Martin back. That's 20 years ago when I was working at Microsoft. So, this you might have departed from whatever your plan was, but this is serving me. So I appreciate it.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is it, right? This is the crossover for those who are called into leadership, into wealth creation in the next dimension. You have to change behavior because everybody online now is being cultured to think that going after free content, chasing people around, following Beyonce, following this, following that, all of a sudden, boom, you get to where God is taking you. It's a lie. It's a big fat lie, guys. The last 5 years on social media, what did you do in your life? No, life is lived in the moment here. Wealth is created. Now, wealth creators can run ads and sell. We use social media to sell. We will sell. But social media is not where we connect with. Because I'm telling you, do you know Bill Gates cannot type? Right? He cannot, everything he releases has to go through his legal team. They have to approve many things. That's why people like Elon Musk, they are breaking a lot of media, and Elon Musk has gotten into troubles with SEC, all those people, right? because his words, they say he's interfering with market value of his companies. That's the cost.
Yeah,
But
that's why I was saying you
yeah,
were saying they could do anything they want. Not really the market, and also
exactly.
the legislative bodies. Elon Musk lost so much value because he was
He
trying to get
lost
everybody
money.
also.
He lost,
So
but
yeah,
Elon.
and Zuckerberg as well. They have to respond to the market
Mhm.
because he would have preferred rather than doing threats. He would have preferred if he was everybody was getting on the metaverse. But it has to do with the market as well. This is
Right. So I'm just saying that the radical ones, because he doesn't want to be controlled, but I'm telling you, he's taking every risk that most people will not, they don't even, they ought not to subject themselves to. They're not ready. Many wealth builders will not subject themselves to that risk. So I'm just trying to share with you that that is why at all levels, everybody, particularly everybody in government, everybody in like politics, everybody in specific positions in their companies, procurement officers, certain people that their signatures release checks and funds, they cannot be typing on social media. It's too risky. It's not permitted. So I value people. You have to start mastering these things that you actually invest to go and find them, meet them where they are congregating, where they feel free, right? So when I host events and I invite those people, I create that environment with my weekly shows. We create that environment. My weekly show is literally housed in the administrative building of the mayor of my city, the same building. So I'm saying it's even sensitive. Coming into my show is highly sensitive already. You can't just stroll in and say, "Oh, Toyin's show." No, you pass through some checks. You pass through some checks. It's not social media. So there it's very, very sensitive. The things we talk about on my show, the people I'm hosting, I have to create a safe environment with key stakeholders that have a lot of value to share with my community, right? So when I say get off social media and people are still like holding on tight to social media, these are the things you're missing. These are the transformative things you're missing. Let's use social media to sell and spread our message. Listen, that's what I come to social media to do, to socialize, to spread my message, to run ads, and to make sure everybody knows I exist and my solutions exist. That's it. Use social media. Don't let, if you're not using social media is using you. But I don't mistake this for that. So when you see me DC, New York, this, that's what this is about. And so if you are not investing, you're not there, you're not here, you're not there, all you have is social media, then you get what social media can deliver for you. And for me, what social media is, what it is doing and how powerful it is that my message, I can use it to spread my message, right? That is the power of social media. I will run ads, I'll do newsletters, I'll host conversations like this, I will engage with people, I'll tell you there's a solution, I'll tell you about my body of work, my school, my events, my TV show, my classes, my courses. Yes, social media is a great place to spread a message. It's not a great place to connect with influential and wealthy wealth stakeholders and governments. It's not. It's a fantastic platform. If you have a message for the world, social media will help you spread it. But if you are looking to grow, to advance, to higher dimensions, who on social media, who, even those people that are on LinkedIn as example, you still have to go and do private conversations with them. You still have to do in person to build those relationships of trust. Last, was it yesterday I was talking about branding trust? That's another topic entirely. So thank you, everyone. That's it. The link up above for those on Clubhouse. You can see programs. If you're a startup and entrepreneur, my school has the information. If you want to build to scale, right? You want to learn how to build, grow, and scale your business with my roadmap programs. Join the academy. Everything you need is there. Workbooks, classes, courses. It's the most comprehensive school on entrepreneurship you'll find in the world. Listen, I listen, I'm the best. I'm the best. I can tell you, I'm the best. I train for United Nations. I also train government as well. And then I have a network for trade and investment stakeholders, including government. And then if you're an established business and you want to take your business to the next level, you can set up one-on-one. I used to serve as a strategist for the biggest company in the world. And when it comes to pillars of growth, activating pillars of growth, optimization, automation, then we can talk about that as well. But I reserve that for those who have established businesses, meaning you're already making money, you have structures in your business, you have systems, you have people, and you want to accelerate and scale. If you don't have systems, you don't have people, you don't have any of that, start with my school, get the foundation right, build you, build your team, and then build it to scale so that when it's time to scale, then we can impute more accelerants. Accelerants, right? Because that's when automation comes in and all of these incredible things that the biggest brands in the world use to grow. On that note, that's it. Head over to tonymercury.com/programs to learn more about my programs. God bless.